This judge is a pure disgrace. He's telling a lawyer what questions to ask. That's totally ridiculous. He won't let him defend himself. And how is it inconsistent? Let's say he was. First of all, he was found not guilty or not liable for rape. It was sexual assault, not rape. And second, you can be guilty of rape, and still a person can be a wacko.
Yeah,
that was a defamation. You're allowed to still defend yourself against defamation.
I'm beginning to understand why Donald Trump stiffed Rudy Giuliani on his legal fees after hearing that defense of him in the E. Jean Carroll defamation case that he lost again. First, the judge did clarify that Trump was found to have raped Carroll. But even if he didn't determine that, your defense is that you only sexually assaulted a woman, and that since you think she's a wacko, you should be able to publicly smear her and sick your bloodthirsty supporters on her. As usual, though, Nikki Haley was ready to hit him on this latest loss, just kinda.
You're taking some new fire from Donald Trump's campaign and supporters for what you said about the E. Jean Carroll case on Meet the Press yesterday. Of course, the president was found liable in that case. A jury awarded her $83.3 million. Here's what you said when you were asked about it.
I absolutely trust the jury, and I think that they made their decision based on the evidence.
So the New York Times wrote an article around that in which it said, in part, quote, 4 weeks before what could be the decisive Republican primary in South Carolina, Ms. Haley is trying to navigate an extremely narrow and treacherous path, finding a way to diminish Mr. Trump's hold on her party's electorate without decisively turning conservative voters against her the way they have destroyed other Trump critics. How do you navigate that path, Governor?
It cracks me up that people try and overanalyze. I just tell the truth as I see it. I think there have been politics played with prosecutors that have brought on some of these cases. I think there's been politics played even with the judges. But I do think American juries still get it right. They listen to the evidence. They make the decision based on the evidence. And I do still trust any American that sits on a jury. I trust that they're making the right decision.
It's uncommon to see a politician be asked, how do you plan to navigate and avoid the cardinal sin of telling MAGA the truth about Trump without turning them against you? And her answer literally doing just that. Blame the prosecutors and judges the way that Trump does, then claim to trust the system that you just said is full of dishonest judges and prosecutors. It's a losing tactic of supporting Trump while hoping MAGA dislikes him without your help in doing so. His presidential dropout and Trump lover Tim Scott was all over that plan, though, and it landed him right back in Trump's pocket.
Your candidate, former President Trump, was ordered by a jury to pay $83 million for defaming writer E. Jean Carroll. He was also found before, as you know, liable for sexual abuse. Does that give you any pause in your support?
You know, myself and all the voters that support Donald Trump supports a return to normalcy as it relates to what affects their kitchen table. The average person in our country, Martha, they're not talking about lawsuits. As a matter of fact, what I have seen, however, is that the perception that the legal system is being weaponized against Donald Trump is actually increasing his poll numbers.
So super Christian Tim Scott isn't concerned with Trump's losses in court, even though Trump can't stop complaining about it. So just say that, Tim. Don't include voters in your dismissals of sexual assault and defamation, acting like it's a normalcy outside of Donald Trump's world. And how can America regain Tim Scott's arbitrary meaning of our standing with the world? Will the world respect us more with a guy in office that's been found liable for fraudulent business practices, for sexual assault and defamation, while also being forced to shell out nearly $100 million to the woman he assaulted? Jesus may not be very happy with Tim's departure from decency and respect for those made in God's image. But when Trump's your new God, who needs Christianity?
Did you ever think that she actually appointed you, Tim? And think of it, appointed, and you're the senator of his state, and she endorsed me. You must really hate her. No, it's a shame. It's a shame. Uh-oh.
I just love you.
No, that's good. That's why he's a great politician.